And welcome back. Been waiting for you. Thanks for coming back to the show. This is the Endeleo show, better known as what is it? What are we calling ourselves? By any means necessary, absolutely. I'm your host, I'm sure of that, Melvin Thompson, the Executive Director of the Endeleo Institute. We are the nonprofit arm, the nonprofit community development arm of Trinity United Church of Christ, that beautiful church at 400 West 95th Street in the wonderful Washington Heights community, the little known Washington Heights that we're trying to put on the map, so to speak. I think we're wedged between Roseland and Auburn Gresham, but we are a vibrant community, and so we do a whole lot of things there, and one of those things is the farmers market. And I want to show you that this is why we're here, because we do a community farmers market every single Saturday for 13 weeks. I think this is week 4. Is this week 4? 5. Oh my goodness, how time is flying. But we're there every Saturday morning at the corner of 95th and Normal. For those that are putting this in their finders, their map finders, it's 467 West 95th Street. Right there at the corner in the church parking lot. You're looking at a picture of our wonderful Pastor Moss and his First Lady, Monica Moss, and Paula Anglin, our gardener, in our garden, which is right next door to the farmers market, where African American farmers from Pembroke, Illinois, about 60 miles south of the city, come every Saturday morning between now and September 28th, I believe. So make sure you come out. Last week was an absolute joy. Warm weather, but a very nice breeze. In fact, we almost lost. T, did you see one of those the tents kind of take off on us a little bit? But it was all good. Nobody was under those tents, so it was all good. No one got injured or anything like that. But we had a really fun time. A lot of people came out. I think it's that heat and humidity that really keeps people away, and that's no big surprise that that kind of has an effect on our attendance. But last week we saw a major improvement, and we're thankful and we appreciate it. We only have about 7 or 8 more market days, so please come out. Take advantage of this healthy food. I got my blood pressure checked. Did I tell you, T? Did you see? I got my blood pressure checked. They were doing free blood pressure checks. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I got a really good pulse. My numbers were excellent. I was a little nervous, but I hadn't had my coffee, so I guess that might have had a little something to do with it. So they told me to stop talking and just sit there. And that's just one of the benefits of bringing health care to the community at a farmer's market. And we really are, starting to make the farmer's market much more than just the market itself, and really concentrating on more family-oriented things with a health perspective, right? So if you got any questions, you've been watching the show since we started, 312-738-1060. Give me your thoughts on anything. Have you been to a farmer's market? Not necessarily ours. Have you been to a farmers market this year? What did you buy? Was it a good value? And has it helped your family? Is it too expensive? We like to know all of these kind of things at the market, because we have what's known as double value coupons. So if you get a double value coupon, if you spend $10, if you have one of these coupons, you get $10 worth of food. Is that right, T? I mean, that's pretty much the concept. And I don't know if we have a limit this year. $25, so you can go up to $25. So let's say you buy $25 worth of food from Mr. Barker or Izabu or any one of our wonderful vendors, farmers, then you'll get $25. Think about that. They're matching dollar for dollar what you're spending at the market for healthy food. Not that processed stuff that you get in the stores, but healthy food that you can prepare. We've got a a chef, Chef Maria, who comes on occasion to the market to do food demonstrations. She buys the food from the market, prepares it right there, and shows you the simplicity to which putting a healthy meal can be. And in the summer, when it's really really hot and you don't really want to crank up a bunch of hot stoves in your house, these are just wonderful ways to have a healthy snack or a healthy meal that'll make you feel good and be good to you. So it's just a wonderful thing to come out, see folks from the market, see people you haven't seen in the community come out with their own bags, and it's wonderful. Are we still giving any of the bags away? Okay, so if you come to the farmers market, you will get. I think we have the bag with our logo and all that stuff. Oh my goodness! So you'll get our logo, and it'll be a keepsake, and you can keep that thing throughout the year. And when you go grocery shopping, wherever you go, you can have this bag. It'll have our nice decal and everything on it, and it's something that takes the worry out of you trying to haul stuff without a bag. And those bags are pretty sturdy, so for that alone, just come out. I must be getting older because I've got children now that are hitting these milestone ages, and it's a beautiful blessing. When you think about we talk about economics and we talk about value and all these things, but I just kind of looked over my family and just saw that, now I get it, and I've always gotten it, but when you see your children grow and start maturing and start getting driver's licenses and stuff like that and turning 16 and 18, it really humbles you, and it tells you just how rich you are. And we spent some family time with our youngest who just turned 16, and he wanted to go to the aquarium. He wanted to go and hang out at the aquarium. Haven't been to an aquarium in decades, and that was just absolutely the coolest thing in the world, just to be with your family, to see all of the different mammals and all of this stuff, just family time. And I think that's kind of like the theme that we're trying to make with farmers markets. We really want to see intergenerational people at families, and there's something for everyone. I think last week we did Zumba, about 3 different classes. A young lady came out and just said, hey, I'm going to teach it. Whoever wants to get with it gets with it, and she did that thing, and it was just cool because there were young people out there, older people in the middle. It was just cool. And so I think that's what's really really missing. And I'd be remiss not to talk about just a little bit the 2 young ladies that lost their lives, the 2 moms that were out here as advocates for nonviolence, to lose a matriarch, 2 matriarchs in one family. It's a devastating thing, and we really need to get back to family values and those kind of things that we were raised on, what we were, and I think it's just a real piece where it's education. It's like we don't know better, we don't do better, and if we are more exposed to these things, I'll tell you. One day I was on a basketball court a couple of days ago with my son, and he's just shooting around, and I'm tossing him the ball back, and some little kids came over, and he's a lifeguard at this particular park, and they were like, hey, you're the lifeguard, why are you out here shooting basketball? And they're just messing around with him. But those kids hung out with us for the next hour and talked my ears off. I think they were in 5th grade, 2nd grade, and I think 1st grade, and you could tell that just engaging with a male figure meant everything to them. I mean, I know everything about them. They're wrestling champs, where they go to school, what grades they're in, who they have a crush on. I mean, it was just amazing. See, I couldn't believe it. And my wife was saying, later, they just needed somebody. They saw someone that they could, talk to, that they may not have, in the home. And I think that is really the root of what we're seeing in these communities, because expression is critical. people want to be seen. I remember, Common coming to our church to promote his book, and he talked about, one of the reasons why he wanted to become a rapper is because long ago he decided, hey, I want to be seen. I want to be seen, and I want to be seen through what I do with this music and rhyme and that kind of thing. And for him, that vehicle worked. And, at the end of the day, it's not this thing about it's all about me, but it's just like acknowledge me as a human. And I think, this world kind of forgets that. And, there's so much, vitriol and meanness and, just anything goes on the internet and, on social media because we're not in front of the people that we're talking to. And so you get this kind of, banter going back and forth. And then you see it translate in our communities, with the numbers of violent acts. I mean, I'm just listening to the radio last Friday, and, it's Friday. It's not Saturday. It's not Sunday, but it's Friday. And they're saying, 19 people have been injured or shot or that kind of thing. And, usually they used to kind of leave that until Monday, right? That be the Monday morning tally of how many people were injured. We need to reverse that and, talk about, 700 people made a new friend or 400 people went to barbecues and 200 people went to family reunions and that kind of stuff. I mean, we need to start kind of talking more positively. I saw something that said it's not about what you hear, it's about what you say. And so, I just think this platform that we have as a nonprofit, we have the privilege of doing programming, yes, in health, education, and community development. But we also have the opportunity at every turn to be, kind and human to folks that may not necessarily get that kind of, just good word. Or may not have heard that word in months or maybe even years. And that's why, if you see somebody wiping down a window in a store or in a library, I just said that to a young lady in a library, and I was like, man, these windows are like sparkling. And she lit up, because nobody's walking by her telling her that, right? Because that's her job. But she's doing her job extremely well, and she just needs to be honored for it. And I think, sometimes just the smallest things, because you don't know what's going on in somebody's day. You don't know what they're going through. If there's a big decision or something that they're weighing, something medically happened, just something going on. You just don't know what's going on in a person's life. And so, I think these messages of kindness, and I'm starting to see that happen. I'm seeing there was a sister in Beverly, that just opened a pizza place. I saw it on the news last night. I can't say the name of it because I know we're on Can, but it's in Beverly. So just start driving up and down Beverly. It's on the corner, but it had the word peace in the title of her store, and it was just so totally cool. She had hundreds of people out there. They were giving away free slices of pizza, and the whole theme was around peace, right? And it's just those kind of things. Just people are just wanting to do something to change the narrative in our community, particularly in African American Hispanic communities, where all of these things are just seemingly endless. And at the end of the day, this is not about the police, it's not about the mayor, it's not about the alderman, it's not about gangbangers. It's just about everybody just taking responsibility and just doing something good and sending some really positive vibes in the world. So, if there's something that you're doing in the community, please let us steal that idea from you and replicate it in our communities. Give us a call at 312-738-1400. 1060. We're talking today about, family values and, just the nucleus of the family and, maybe the absence of it as well, because it's really, when you look historically in our communities, that's where it started, the mass incarceration, taking a family, This makes me think of the movie Claudine. We were having a conversation with some colleagues about the movie Claudine, and that scene where James Earl Jones is in hiding in the closet because the social worker is coming there, and they can't have a man in the house or they're going to lose their benefits. And there was some comedy to that, but that was really a sad, sad truth of a real reality in our community back in the day, the way the government looked upon, giving social benefits, saying, hey, if a man is in the house, then that's really detrimental to us giving you aid, as if that automatically means you don't need it. Right? And so it was ridiculous. And we had this conversation about just the mentality of where all of these, policies and stuff came from. They came from the government. I mean, they had the position of, families. They took a position on where, the social welfare of families through policy, and they, could hold that over your head through economics. So it's just if you get a chance, go back, rent that movie, see that movie, and you'll see so many things. It's probably 40 years old, but you'll see so many things that, we're still recovering from as a society and as a community where, there's still men that are missing from the homes because, there are still policies in place, in maybe housing situations where, if that person is in the household, maybe the matriarch or the person that's running that household doesn't get the discount to live in that space or something. I don't know the particulars of it, but I know we have, a public housing community in our Washington Heights community, and, we wish that we could, really connect more with the brothers, that have responsibility and relationship to the families that are in those communities, because, they're missing. They're missing for whatever reason. We see, a lot of sisters holding up, a lot of families and doing the double duty of being the father and the mother and everything, and then taking care of maybe elder people in the family as well. So, this is really a call to action, as a community. Yes, we're based in a church. You don't have to go to church to actually believe in the, in the doctrine of, helping people that are less fortunate, that, are possibly underserved. And that's all we try to do as a congregation, as a ministry, is just, whether you, believe in Jesus or believe in have a faith, you're anchored in a faith at all, you're still a human being, and so you're not judged. And we just want to support our community. We've been in that community for 61 years, for almost 60 years now, since 1961, and so it's our responsibility, and we need to be accountable for the folks that are in our immediate vicinity. So if we're doing something within the church, we need to be reaching outside of the walls. And you hear, churches say that, all over the country, and and I'm sure they're genuine, sentiment about doing it, but I think there's a lot more that we could be doing. There's a lot more ministry that we could be doing, and I'll say that there are some dedicated servants, all over this city that are trying to do this and, do things for the youth, for returning citizens, for veterans, for the homeless. I don't know what the policies are in place right now, but just to see, people under viaducts in, man-made homes out of boxes, in the summertime, and then see people just riding their bikes, under those viaducts and just, riding by them. There's a disconnect. There's just something wrong with that picture. I mean, it's disturbing from a human standpoint, and we need to be, in the richest country in the world, there needs to be something that we can do to buffer people living literally on the streets under the elements. I mean, it's baffling. I've heard that, there are steps being taken to eliminate that, and I know that there's cities that have been a lot more successful than others, but there really needs to be a concerted effort. We had a chance to sit down with someone from from this new administration, the city clerk, and this is an amazing person, a very human person that is doing some amazing things outside of the lane of just city stickers, and we really want to applaud the work of the city clerk. We had a chance to really hear some of the innovative things to give people identity, to help them be better, to thrive in this society, and to make government more of an ally than a foe. So that people can navigate, the struggle of trying to live a life without the burden of, being fined for absolutely everything. And that's what it's all about, just being human. And I think, that's the ongoing theme and the recurring theme that we really need to do. And for us, we do it with food. I mean, we do it through our farmers market. I mean, it's food for the soul. It's not about coming out, even if you don't make a purchase, even though we'd like you to make a purchase, because these hardworking, black farmers, they cultivate, they harvest, they work extremely hard to come out, drive all the way to Chicago, not knowing whether they're going to be going back home with just about everything that they brought. And so it's really imperative that you come out, fellowship, socialize, talk to some people, meet some people you've never met, and just be a part of the fabric of society. And I think the more we do that, the more sympathetic we're going to be in terms of being, one community. I relayed to, some folks that were some vendors there about an article that I had to pull up again. And I think I told you guys about it last week, about the 900 North Michigan Avenue, and how the community of Little Village is second only to North Michigan Avenue in terms of revenue generated on a yearly basis. Just think about that. So I think North Michigan Avenue draws about $1.5 billion on a yearly basis, and this village of Little Italy, or Little Village, I'm sorry, is generating, $1 million, close to $1 million in a 14-block stretch. 33 businesses, small businesses, right? And so authentic Mexican businesses. They've got people from all over the country, that, are of, Mexican descent, that come there and buy and sell because they know there's a place, where their community is valued, where their community is hailed, and so they look forward to that, and we can replicate that. I mean, Chinatown does it, other communities do it, Germantown, it's a no-brainer, and so we really need to be much more thoughtful. So, support a black business. Go out of your way and go visit and spend your money with people who look like you, and you will be making a difference. If there's something that's amiss about, their product offering, or something that could be done better, think about communicating that to them in a thoughtful way, not one that's really, tearing them down or anything, but in a really thoughtful way. And I'm sure they'll appreciate it because they're there to make money and support their families. And so, I started on a family theme, and I want to end on one. Do something with your family this week. Find something to do. Just sit out on the porch if that's cool. But do something with your family, and bring your family next Saturday to the farmers market at 467 West 95th Street. It's the community farmers market at 95th and Normal. We'll see you right back here next week at 5 o'clock. Take care.